Hearthstone Grandmasters for the European region. We're in week number 4, and we got our second match of the day coming up, and that's Admirable. I'm joined by Gallon, and Gallon, we saw Psycho handed his first loss in match number 1. Orange taking him down and moving to 3 and 4.
I think we have another important match coming up. Casie and Hunterace are both tied for 3rd right now. They're both 3 and 3. This is going to determine who solidifies their 3rd place position and who is knocked out of playoffs contention for now.
Indeed, and so we can take a look at the deck lists that are coming up here for Casie versus Hunterace, where we have a rogue mirror match. However, their archetypes are vastly different. As we take a look here, Casie is bringing the Pogo Hopper Rogue, and Hunterace is bringing his signature Water Rogue deck, which we're going to be talking about first.
Boing, boing is all I can say about Casie. His list is very similar to Bunny Hopper's. I think he likes it a lot. I think that he is going to beat Hunterace in terms, or at least on paper. I think Casie's Pogo Rogue is just very good versus Hunterace's slow, non-bursty game plan.
Yeah, and so looking at Hunterace's deck here, the Water Rogue, it's got the Vendetta package in it. It's got the Sea Giant as with the Spirit of the Shark as the signature for what it is called as Water Rogue. I think Ocean Rogue is also acceptable for it. But we can take a look at Casie's deck because this is the hot new thing that we're looking at here. Pogo Hopper Rogue. It's finally happening, Gallon.
That just sounds like a meme. I don't know if I can take it seriously yet. This might put up impressive results. I think even by the end of the weekend, I'll still find it pretty funny.
Look, I'm just saying, if you discount anything by 50%, I don't care if it's 12 inches of poster cardboard. That's a deal.
You cut Wisp in half? That's a good card. Zero
Yeah.
mana Wisp? That stinks. A 0 mana Wisp? That's great.
If you cut the cost of Wisp in half, it goes to -1/2 a mana. So 2 Wisps would give you an additional mana. Yeah, think about that.
I don't think I can. That's blowing my mind. All right.
This deck is such a pleasure to watch. Gallon and I probably spent the most time playing this particular match to try to figure out what's Pogo Hopper's angle, how does it actually want to play the game, is it trying to get more aggressive, is it trying to fend itself off in the early game? I think it has a lot of different angles it can play, but at the end of the day, outside of big Edwin Van Cleefs, granted, I'm playing the Hunterace side, not to Hunterace's prowess, but outside of Big Edwin's, I was really struggling to get into the games in a solid position.
If anyone is going to pull off a hard win like Hunterace or an unfavored win, I think it's going to be Hunterace. I've had the pleasure to play versus the world champ multiple times last year, and every single time I played against him, I came away from the game being impressed by his play. And that's really hard to do. Most games, after I'm finished with it, it's done. You know, I'm moving on to the next one. I'm just thinking about my record. When I came away from playing against Hunterace, I was thinking, wow, this guy is good. In case you didn't know, he's the world champion. He's pretty darn good at the game.
Yeah, and the thing that really stands out to me is that Hunterace definitely has a unique style of it, where he does not necessarily make plays that are obvious. He almost very rarely, I think, moves all in on a position unless he's confident that this is absolutely his best chance. But I feel like Hunterace oftentimes will actively go out of his way and avoid all-in situations in the hopes that the opponent will make an error, and he'll grab an even better chance.
One thing that I really like about Hunterace is that he's very self-critical. Immediately after a game is over, he goes to all of his friends, everyone that he was like preps with, and he says, "What did I do wrong this game?" I think that's a skill that a lot of people have trouble with, because normally when you win a game, you don't go back and review it. You won, and when you lose a game, you don't normally go back to review it because you lost. That's a hard thing to take.
Yeah.
Hunterace does not have that problem.
Look, when you won a game, you won the game. When you lose a game, oh, I lost that game.
That you did.
Dislike. And so Hunterace on coin, and a pretty fantastic hand at that.
Coin Evil Miscreant. That is the card that you want in both players' positions.
Now, I've heard a lot of players with rumblings about how Coin Evil Miscreant may not necessarily be the rogue play. However, I do think in Water Rogue it absolutely is, because you don't have the same styles of plays that you have in everything else. Backstab, Shadow Step, those are your only combo activators.
Even if we were looking at a more classic Vendetta Rogue without the Sea Giant package, I still think that Coin Evil Miscreant is the play here, if only for the fact that he has a Blink Fox as well. If you can go Coin 3 into 3, I think that's when Coin Evil Miscreant just becomes a no-brainer.
Just that particular spot?
Well, that and also Coin Evil Miscreant is just very good. If you can find any reason to do it, I think you should try to find a reason to.
So many
Casie is looking at Prep, Shiv, Edwin Van Cleef as a potential play.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this turn, the real decision here is going to be between Blood Mage and Dagger Up, where, you know, you really want to be getting a Dagger Up in these situations, but with Pogo Rogue, what I have found is that you really need to be drawing cards. Like, you absolutely need to find your keys to the deck to unlock it.
And I think that Water Rogue is a deck that affords you that time. I think that's one of the reasons that it struggles a bit in the matchup. Remember, he's not running Eviscerate. He does not have Raiding Party, so Waggle Pick becomes a less common thing for Hunterace to have.
No Sousy deckhands. No No deadly poisons. No Captain Greenskin.
Nada.
The
Earth
deck-
damage, none.
Deck wins via leveraging its board position.
It does have a Leroy.
Yes, well, it's a rogue deck.
It's got Leroy Wagglepick. That's just the thing.
Casey's deck, however, does not have Leroy.
Choose soon.
It's got 11-11. Why would you want a 6-2 when you have an 11-11?
Well, because it has charge.
The 11-11 has Rush and Lifesteal,
Sometimes.
Divine Shield and Taunt.
Ooh.
You put a Ziliax on it. Yeah, they don't die, but they're dead.
Gallon, you're making too much sense here. I knew it. I'm telling you, he just doesn't do it. He plays differently than everybody else.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm actually a little bit surprised here. Okay, Casie going just for the very obvious
Well,
make
yeah.
a 6-6.
You don't pray to the rogue gods for this hand and then slap him in the face. You play an Edwin.
I find it really funny that Casey specifically is playing Pogo Hopper Rogue. He is the weird rogue master. He's been playing weird rogue decks in tournaments and doing well with them for like 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, this is just very funny to me.
It's just fitting.
Oh my god. And we have Pogo Hopper Lab Recruiter. That is actually a very good combo in this kind of spot.
You know, so that's actually something I want to talk about with this deck. Is my initial impression with the deck was you wait and you wait and you wait for gigantic turns. Setting up your gigantic turns often means that you can take an aggressive stance with this deck, and that's something that you particularly opened my eyes to. Was the very first game we played. You played a Pogo Hopper on turn 1. I didn't kill it. You played a Lab Recruiter on turn 2. And then the rest of the game, you aggressively attacked, you drew lots of cards, and I got into a position where I was like, wow, that tempo play actually beat me this game. Like, I couldn't do anything.
I think one of the advantages of Pogo Hopper being 1 mana is that a lot of the card draw spells and cards in Hearthstone are non-tempo cards. Novice Engineer is a 2-mana 1/1. Shiv is a 2-mana deal 1 damage. That is a ping from Mage. That is not tempo. Pogo Hopper really offsets that. It's a cheap way to just regain your tempo back. You know, 1 mana 9/9, it's okay to play a 2 mana 1/1 if you get a 1 mana 9/9 afterwards.
Really unfortunate upgrade here for Hunterace 2 finds an arena chest. So he has effectively blown up his own minion.
I find it very funny that Spirit of the Shark and Kobold Lack kill an arena treasure chest. I don't think he's gonna do it, but it is funny.
I mean, that's literally what he would have to
turn.
do at some point to get in there. But right now, he's staring down a lot of aggression.
This is just a tough turn. There's no way to clear the 6/6 right now.
Casey just risks the Pogo Hopper here as well, just to activate the combo.
I think it's honestly fine. I think when
Yeah,
you
second
have
one of the deck.
when you have a 6/6 in play, I mean, it's not even that. It's that you have a 6/6 in play, just seize tempo while you can. Honestly.
So in your head, you wouldn't even be considering the long-term facets in this particular turn?
If that was the last Pogo Hopper in my deck, I definitely play it here.
Wow.
I just don't think it matters that much. We activated an Evil Miscreant. We played a 1/1 and a 1/4, backing up our 6/6. They're at 22. They're going to die.
Gallon definitely plays the game in a very unique way, which I'm happy to be here for.
Honestly, I think this is all on Casie. I think he understands that sometimes what your deck does can change drastically. When you've played a big thing, that whole value game plan of Pogo Hoppers just becomes less important. It's about closing the game quickly, so you use your cards for tempo. Tempo good.
I definitely see a lot of your play in Casey, where he plays very quickly, he plays very decisively, and it's very confident.
I think the difference is if I play quickly, it's dumb. When Casie plays quickly, which is how he always plays, it's very smart. Ethereal Lackey here. Looking for not really any of these, but doesn't really matter. You just wanted a 1/1.
Lucrative contract adds coins to your hand. The unidentified contract can do a number of things. It can hit adjacent minions after you destroy the one in the middle. It can make a patient assassin. It can give you 2 coins. I think that's all the modes.
I think there's also a Holy Water mode where it kills a minion, adds a card to its hand. The Treatment Contract, I believe it's called.
Oh, I actually don't think I've ever seen that one.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I've seen like people use it on their own minions. Like you can use it on your own Togwaggle to get another Heist Baron Togwaggle.
Shout out to the spectator there. Thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, you look at this turn. Hunterace
Basis Lackey.
Hunterace created a 0/4 instead of creating an actual minion. And so that's exactly what Casie did. He's well, now's the time.
I mean, this is probably Hunterace's turn to get back in the game. It has to be Kobold Lackey, Evil Miscreant, right? I guess you could go Evil Cable Rat because that is, like, in the dream scenario, Evil Cable Rat gives you slightly more tempo on the board.
I want to play more lackeys.
So
but I want to have the right lackeys as well.
Exactly, exactly. So he's taking, like, he's not taking the risk here. He's just going for the safest way to clear the 6/6.
The Rush lackey was what I was looking at in this spot.
Oh, because you can kill the... That's actually so good.
Because you have the
But we
Spirit
didn't
of
get
Shark.
it, so it's so bad. I mean, how good is it really? Because we have, what, 9 cards in hand right now? You'd be overdrawing.
I'm just even thinking down the road. But
Sure.
that's what I was thinking with Evil Cabernet, though, was actual perfect outcomes. I was thinking Rush Lackey, which is one I seem to always get.
Yes, Evil Cable Rat into Rush Lackey plus Kobold Lackey was, or two Rush Lackeys.
Two Rush Lackeys would have worked. I mean, he had a lot of good outcomes there, but I don't disagree with the value stance. However, he is getting quickly pushed out of the game.
What you're saying is that sometimes you just have to take a huge risk. Hunterace says, okay, this is not the turn that I had to take a huge risk.
It's one of the things I've noticed a lot about the best players as well, is they are typically very comfortable with their life total. And against Casey's deck, I think he has the liberty to be more so. No Leroy Jenkins, no Waggle Picks, no Deadly Poisons, no
Casey's
Eviscerates.
looking for a 2-attack minion here. If he does not get a 2-attack minion, he's going to be kind of upset. I imagine his play is going to be Witchy Lackey and then Goblin Lackey, whatever he evolves into. Kill the 0-3 and then everything else gets shipped base. All right, 3-attack minion. Speed of the Shark is dying.
I was looking at that card just now and thinking to myself, oh boy, that's pretty good with Snip Snap.
Ooh, he killed the 1. That is interesting. Oh, whenever you play it. Oh, yeah. That is good.
New meta.
4 mana 3/5s.
I haven't seen anybody do that yet.
It needs to be a 4 mana 3/6. 4 mana 3/5s stink. You ever see Thunderhead as a 3/5? That card was terrible.
How dare you talk that way
It was unplayable.
How dare you talk that way about Senjin?
Thunderhead was not good as a 3/5.
Disagree.
Well, yeah, I disagree too. But it wasn't good.
I'll tell you what we can't disagree with here. Casey's winning hard.
Casey is winning hard.
So what changes this for Hunterace? I mean, he has to have something go absolutely right. And what I'm thinking goes absolutely right is something crazy like Hench Clan Burglar and
Ethereal Lackey. Ethereal Lackey, you get prep and you get something else. You might even be looking at Vanish here. You don't really care about the fact that your opponent just gets so much value. You need to get rid of this board.
Well, he can't. He only's got 5 mana.
He has a second Ethereal Lackey in hand. You can go for prep Ethereal Lackey. It's going to work out perfectly. Prep reduces the cost by 2. He's going to have 4 mana. Vanish is going to cost 4 mana.
Oh, I don't like it. I feel like it's not going to work.
He goes for stab instead. All right. Probably backstab. Yeah. Backstab, stab the 4/5. I mean, he probably doesn't win this game if he vanishes this much stuff in his opponent's hand.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. It's probably pretty fair.
This stupid arena check
3/12
here.
with taunt. That's not 3/12. Witchwood Grizzly there was actually pretty... it wasn't that good. We could lucrative contract it and just go face.
I mean, that's the thing, is Casey's got the answers. Of course, this card has been changed if you have not capitalized on wanting some extra dust from that.
Reckless Experiment or 400 dust. I believe it's an epic.
Yes. Had to be changed due to Snip Snap, actually. Snip Snap offered it in its...
It was very funny.
In Reckless Experimenter's current form, you actually had Priest at turn 5 OTK.
What I want to talk about is, imagine being the guy that discovered that and you just don't tell anyone. You show up to Las Vegas, the Masters Tour Las Vegas, and you just kill people turn 5 every single game. Easy 50K.
Ooh.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just another thing. Everything's going face.
That can, anyway.
It has to be.
Choose soon.
Pretty easy turn right there. The dagger, I think, might be killing off.
A 1/1, you say?
I don't know. Now that he moves in the... oh, no, he's killing off. He's thinking specifically about Shadow Steps onto spells and going, that's the only way that Hunterace can get back into this one. Is something crazy.
I think he's also just considering that he has 1/1s in play and he's using that to just leverage his board position. If he kills a 1/1, there's one less 1/1 that's dead. A lot of 1s.
Well, Hunterace needing a miracle.
We're looking at Hench Clan Burglar Inferno.
I'm looking at Blink Fox of Phantom Knives. I'm thinking about possibilities here because that's the only thing that's left. There's no way to just fight back.
I think if
spot.
you're doing that, you'd probably rather go Hench Clan Burglar.
I would definitely play the Burglar.
Yeah, I think it's slightly more likely to find a spell that deals with this. There's...
You know, that's actually a good question because you're looking at like Arcane Explosion.
Arcane Explosion, Whirlwind. Inferno. And you have 3 choices
There's
instead
gotta
of
be
1.
something else.
Yeah, there probably is.
There's always something else. Warpath.
Warpath, yeah.
There's got to be something. There's always something
Unexpected
else.
results. We got unexpected results, Wild Pyromancer.
You can Vendetta.
Yep. That's really good play.
That's very unexpected.
Expect the unexpected.
Aptly named.
That's what he's going for. You got to do it now. Oh no, Wild Pyromancer. I saw the 3/2 stat line and I was like, and then it was not a Wild Pyromancer.
Not this game.
Looks like he's dead.
Casie
Casie takes game 1.
death by 1,000 cuts.
Honestly, okay, so this is not how every single game that we played panned out.
This is not how any of the games we played panned out.
But I still think that this was the average result. I think that Casie is the clear favorite in this matchup. I think that you just have a lot of tools. He had his Evil Miscreant. He played for tempo. He played a 6-6 on turn 3. When you play 6-6 turn 3, you're generally winning that game.
Yeah, and that is what we found about this one, is that Hunterace's deck is playing primarily, I think, more of a mid-range battle, which is a very unique perspective for Rogue. That's not very common that has been, I think, a case in like the history of Hearthstone, honestly. And so when I look at the deck, what it's trying to take advantage of is your opponent not exploding onto board all at once and not really having that potential, but having the potential instead to clear things one by one, have big turns where they can sweep your board, but your deck plays super well against that because almost everything is producing something extra.
Yeah. It's really good at all those like little minion battles. Sea Giant takes advantage of a bunch of 1/1s in play. Casie, he is not playing little minions. He is going to take a swing turn and he's going to hit you in the face with it.
Yeah, and honestly, with Pogo Hopper, I feel like you get a lot of those swing turns available. It's like you are creating that Sea Giant dynamic, but it's by virtue of Pogo Hopper instead of lots of 1/1s on board.
And when you play a 7-7 and a 9-9, Sea Giant suddenly becomes a lot less good.
Yeah, that's also what I found. Although Galen did beat me with a double Sea Giant spot. So now they're going over to take a look at their secondary and tertiary decks. So we can talk about those real quick. Casie, clearly, I think sticking on the primary deck as his secondary and tertiary are looking at something else. We are in specialist here, so you have a primary deck that you must bring. Your other 2 decks are of the same class and can be up to 5 cards different from that one. And if you're looking to kick it with Pogo Rogue, by the way, that QR code in the top right, that's functioning right now.
There you go. I think that Hunterace is probably sticking with his primary too. I imagine they have to. The sideboards look like they're built for specifically Warrior and Mage. I actually find it pretty funny. If you look at Casie and Hunterace's secondary deck, they have the exact same cards that they're adding. That's just really funny. They're wildly different decks. They say,
goodness, they are.
Togwaggle, Scheme, Harrison Jones, Geppetto, Void, Joy Buzz. Those are the cards I want versus Warrior.
Wow. Yeah, that is kind of unique.
It has to play out totally differently too. I just can't imagine that the game plan is the same at all.
Well, it's definitely not the same. Hunterace, as we move over to take a look at he's actually moved over to the tertiary deck. And what that means is he's moving out 2 Waggle picks. He's moving out the Ziliax, Income Eviscerate, and 2 copies of Sap.
That is unexpected. I did not expect that. I think that his primary deck, I thought it was better. I can see the reasoning behind it. Sap is pretty good when your opponent plays big stuff like Pogo Hoppers, but God, I just can't imagine it. Like, it's only good on the turn that you're going to kill your opponent and you're about to die. You know what I mean? Waggle Pick, I felt like was a pretty good card versus Casie. Casie does have double acidic swamp ooze in his primary, so that's something to consider.
I bet that's why.
I bet that is why. I just still think that Waggle Pick is good enough that you still want it in your deck, even if it might be targeted.
This is the Hunterace style, though. It's my opponent has a way to take advantage of something. Change my angle.
There you go.
I mean, that's like, to me, the all-encompassing visual aspect I have of Hunterace's play, if I could encapsulate it into one sentence, is my opponent's doing something that's bad for me, avoid that.
I think this is something that great players do very often. It's that they try to avoid being in spots where they just instantly lose. They always want an option open for them to win. Hunterace obviously does that. He's a fantastic player.
You know, the first player, I'm going to go in a little bit of history here.
I got to interrupt you right here.
Okay.
Coin Evil Miscreant for Casie. That's good.
Is he coining it?
Oh, we don't know yet. Anyways, back to your point.
I'm kind of looking at, I don't know, I'm really interested in this now because this particular spot does make a lot of sense. I'm going to get to my point about avoiding disasters like that. The first player I noticed did that last year was at DreamHack Atlanta, actually, where I'd watched Fino play a ton throughout the year. And over and over and over with Malagos Druid, he would make plays that just looked so weird to me. And I'm like, man, why does he do that? And then I would see his opponent top deck the card that would have killed him, and I go, that's exactly what Fino was thinking about, was his opponent top decking a card that killed him.
I actually had that experience at Atlanta.
You were playing against him when I noticed this.
No, I think it was the opposite. It was the.
You both were doing it constantly throughout the entirety of it.
That was a good game. That was a good game.
That was one of the best matches I've ever seen.
very good.
And the thing I noticed is when I went back and I looked at all of Fino's play, over and over and over again, he would make weird-looking plays to keep his position strong and avoid catastrophe striking and him losing the game outright.
He just sets up lots of pitfalls.
Oh! Oh! Drew the preparation. 2 more lackeys, please.
This is just so good.
Cult Master looks pretty not spectacular right now. I imagine.
Probably Witchy Lackey it again, right?
I'm probably Witchy Lacking it again.
That is
That
much
one's
better.
much better.
There you go.
3 mana, 4/6, make 2 1/1s. That card's not fair.
Yeah. That is unfair.
This
That's how I would say it.
This was a coin miscreant, a shadow step, and a preparation, and you still have 2 extra cards as a result of it.
So many.
Are you telling me that Evil Miscreant is a good card in the game of Hearthstone? I don't believe it. This is when you say I'm stupid.
No, you're not. You're really smart. And
I actually do believe it. I believe it quite a bit.
yeah,
I think, you know, I did some play testing with this card like day 1 of the expansion, and it was a pretty bad list that I was playing with, but Evil Miscreant just carried me the entire way.
Galen and I were actually, we were on Discord watching the card reveal as it happened, and they showed Evil Miscreant, and Galen and I both just started freaking out. We were like, "Ah!
You can't do that!
You can't do that!" And then they showed High Spirit Togwaggle. We're like, "Oh my god, you can't do that! Like, that needs to get nerfed!" It turns out High Spirit Togwaggle was a little too greedy. However, Evil Miscreant, whew.
I still disagree with you. I think High Spirit Toggle is insane. It's a 6 mana 5/5 that gives you 3 cards from your deck that cost 0, or it gives you 2 random legendaries, or if you're really dumb, you take Golden Kobold and you lose the game.
Hey, I'm taking the Goblet before, all right?
Oh, I've taken the Goblet before too, but only for fun.
Well, no, I knew that the last card in my deck was exactly Deadly Poison.
Even then, I still would take the
Do you know how sweet it is to just watch every animation of Deadly Poison fall into the weapon?
Yeah.
Because from their perspective, that takes a long time.
You know, I play with Soleil a lot on his stream, and we've had a couple of good games with Tolan's Goblet. Specifically, we just had a game where we got 7 Leroys against the Warrior. We had a, what's the card? The Boom Ship. And we had 9 minions in hand. 2 of them were like Spirit of the Shark and another card. And we play Boom Ship, they're at 18, and we just miss entirely on the Leroys. We got 1 Leroy. It was just, such a disappointment.
Take a look at Casey's hand right now. The interaction with Witchwood Piper and Pogo Hopper.
God, this is so good. This is the spot that Casey
Oh, that's the rush! The rush lackey with the overkill!
Yes.
That 5/3 says overkill, draw 2 cards.
He probably does that, right? Draws 2 cards?
Well,
I imagine he has to.
I like 2 extra cards.
Well, what he could be thinking about is he could Goblin Lackey on the Evil Miscreant and just use the dagger to kill the 3/3.
I think he's also considering Witchy Lackey, like, what is a 5 minion stat line worth? What is a 4/1 worth later on?
I imagine that he's going to kill it instead of Witchy Lackey here.
Because the thing about it to me is the deck does have a lot of value packed into it. Like Hunterace, the thing what he struggled with last time was the value. It was board presence.
I think that's the reason that he's going for it. Okay, so he decides to do it on the 1/1 instead of the Evil Miscreant.
Board
That's
presence.
just more stats in play.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Deck has so much value packed into it. That was the thing that I struggled with the most as you and I were playing, was spending my mana. I very rarely ran out of stuff.
We're looking at Casie going for double Pogo Hopper here.
Scheme for 1.
This does seem very interesting. I'm not sure about how I feel about it.
I am kind of questioning this as well. I was looking specifically at like a Blood Mage double Goblin Lackey turn and move into like a Lynchin turn.
Next turn, we set it up. This is strange to me. I'm guessing he's going double Goblin Lackey to kill the 5/3, but...
That does cut the most stats from your opponent's side.
But this is just so weird.
No, this looks much better to me now.
Nah, I still don't like it.
Hey, they lost their 5/3.
That's true. They got a Sea Giant. We can go Evil Cable Rat, double Lackey, Sea Giant.
So Evil Cable Rat moves the Sea Giant down to 4 mana. The Lackey moves it to 3 mana, and every single 1 mana card from there is going to keep it in its same cost.
Honestly, the way Casie played his last turn, it kind of enabled the Sea Giant to be good. If he hadn't gone for just 1/1s and, you know, a bunch of small minions, the Sea Giant would not have been played here. Or if it would have been played, it would not have been played with this much extra value.
Something I want to mention is if Hunterace plays Sea Giant, what that means is Pogo Hopper sticks, and that means Barista Lynchin gets a hit on a Pogo Hopper here. So I think that Casie has some ways to get out of this. You know, he still has Sap in his deck.
I think it's even getting an extra 5/5 here. I don't think it's very good. I think that the fact that he gave Hunterace an out for Sea Giant might have been game losing.
Could he avoid that though?
I really think he could have. I think last turn was the turn to look at. I think if you had taken a much slower line where you play Thalnos, you rush it into the 5/3, maybe dagger it, draw an extra card off the Thalnos, and just like wait a little bit. Next turn, go Pogo Hopper, Barista Lynchin. I think that would have been the better line.
So is that caster vision? Because you can do the hands?
Nope.
Okay.
We didn't even. Nope. I just think it was bad. I could be wrong. But I don't think I am.
I don't know, man. I think it's hard to call this position. I mean, the position ends up being poor for him.
Yeah.
I don't think the play is bad.
Just the problem with it is, right, is even if he doesn't have Sea Giant and Hunterace just kills both of your Pogo Hoppers, you're looking at a very dead hand. You're looking at Barista Lynchin, Acidic Swampoo's, Blood Mage Thalnos. Yes, he picked up the Evil Miscreant, but he didn't know that was going to be the next draw, right? So you're on a 1 of out for drawing your Pogo Hopper, and then Evil Miscreant is maybe another card that you're considering, but again, it's another 1 of out. You've already played one Evil Miscreant this game.
I think we just disagree, and that's okay.
All right. He's got 3 mana left. Wild Growth probably is not the play. I don't think mana is going to be the constraint Hunterace
Mark shot
for this game.
Discover spell.
Yeah, you just keep looping it back.
You can't get Mark shot off of this one.
You keep looping it back. You get a Shadow Step off of your Mark shot. You Shadow Step the Henge Clan Burglar. You get another Mark shot. It's a 3-card combo. What do you mean you can't loop it back? You're just not thinking many levels ahead.
I apologize.
Apology accepted.
Foolish me. Hunterace, I imagine, is very interested in killing the board.
Yes, if you kill it, it's dead.
Yep. This was a matchup where I often found myself, if I went face instead of clearing Pogo Hoppers, I was terrified of what could be in the position of Casey's hand.
Honestly, it's kind of like triply important here. It protects your 8-4. It kills the Pogo Hopper, which is one of their prime ways of winning the game.
Ooh, Sea Giant dead.
Yikes.
Big turn.
This is good.
Shadow Step for the Lackey as well. I'm sorry for the
I think we do it on the mix. Yeah, screen. I think you do it now.
I'm not gonna let it die.
Yep. I think you definitely do it now.
Hunterace, I think, definitely has the lead here, though.
What's he gonna get? Evil Cable Rat.
Stuff that makes stuff. I mean, this is what this deck is so good at. If you go even with it, it will outpace you because all of its stuff is just annoying and it keeps generating.
Yep.
Every single game that I've seen this deck not get blown out of the water, this happens.
I just had no response to that. That was a good joke.
I love how you mutter under your breath. You're like, it's really bad. Come on, that was an accident.
All right. Oh my god, another Shadow Step. Does he do it again?
At this point, I want to start considering what a face race looks like. Like, that's my second Shadow Step now. I have the lead in board. I have Life Drinker, Mark Shot.
He's going Life Drinker and Dagger. That sounds about right.
I think I would have taken the first cantrip. And now I'm like, okay, this is my last Shadow Step. I'm just gonna start going Phrase.
Makes a lot of sense. Like, it's very weird because it's pretty much the exact same spot -1 card differential. You know, the first Shadow Step and the second Shadow Step are doing pretty much the exact same thing, but Hunterace realizes, hey, this is actually a different spot. I only have 1 Shadow Step left.
Big draw!
Yeah, that's huge.
But
right?
there's an assassinate in Hunterace's hand.
Hunterace has the answer.
But that's the thing.
He's been planning all along for this.
From Casey's perspective, he knows. He's like, oh, this draw's great. This is the one's going to get into it. Assassinate.
I don't even think he's thinking this draw is great. He's thinking this is the only draw that even gives me a chance of winning the game.
Which means it's great.
Yeah, which means it's fantastic. Hunterace has the answer. I think this game is going 1-1.
This was how Gallon was destroying me, was Edwin, and the key was getting Assassinate to shut it down.
Easy.
Just the most simple of rogue cards since the dawn of time. Kill a thing.
That card's just never been played, has it? It's just always been a little bit too much mana.
Exactly one time that I recall playing it was 2014, about a third of the way through the year. It was a Miracle Rogue as a 1-of to tech for Handlock specifically.
Ah, okay. There was a very janky deck that popped up recently. You know Arcane Tyrant, the card that was a 5-mana 4/4. If you played a spell that cost 5 or more, it cost 0.
Oh, that's one of my favorite cards.
Instead of running Vilespine Slayer, you just run Myra's and Assassinate because you just go Assassinate and then you play a 4/4. Assassinate 4/4 is just better than Vilespine Slayer. That's 1 more attack. Think about it.
That's just math.
It's just math.
Casey's board gets trounced.
Casie, that is not the draw that he wants.
I'll tell you what, it buys him a turn.
Buying him a turn, that's not how you win a game of Hearthstone. You need to win. Staying alive, not winning.
Notice Casey here does not use his dagger to poke as well. It preserves life total. He doesn't want to race damage right now, and he knows that 1 damage is just going to get poked down from Hunterace's
I
side.
think that is really smart. Now, counterpoint, Hunterace can just dagger and hit him in the face.
Correct, but that also spends 2 of his mana.
Sure.
Very, very, very minor thing. But Casie, it gives you the perspective.
Spirit of the Shark here is just going to lock out the game.
Yeah.
We got Shadow Step as well. This is over. I can't.
Yeah.
Casie, he has a Myra's.
Myra's.
Myra's is the
That's
one
the
out.
card.
Yeah, it's the one out.
Myra's, Ziliax, Pogo Hoppers, ways to shuffle.
I think if he doesn't get it exactly this turn, though, we're looking at game.
Lab Recruiter is actually the only way left to shuffle as well. So it's got to be Myra's.
Oh, that was not a Doomsayer, which means it was insane.
And also, Myra's Ziliax is actually not a possibility next turn because of mana constraints.
Myra Ziliax is not a possibility?
Nope.
Couldn't he go Myra
Not with
Ziliax?
Pogo Hopper.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I mean. So it'd be Myra's, Ziliax, Shadow Step It, Pogo Hopper, Lab Recruiter, but none of that's happening.
We're going to next game. Yeah.
Game 3, Hunterace answers back. Just a grindy battle. And honestly, I love watching Water Rogue when it doesn't get blown out because its grindy game is just insane. Like, it continues to funnel minions onto the board every single turn.
Hunterace just took huge advantage of Casey's turn 5, turn 6 play. I think that's where Sea Giant is at its best, is when your opponent's trying to fight for board with their own small minions, and you just slam a Sea Giant.
Yeah, I mean,
it's big.
I have found Sea Giant to be quite unspectacular in this deck personally, but the one spot that I think it's very good in is against mage decks sometimes, and specifically against rogue.
Mirror image and lackeys off of Evil Miscreant.
Oftentimes what I do is I put some stuff in play, my opponent responds with a big lackey turn that's going to set up on me, and then I respond back, play a Sea Giant, and then wipe the board. That is
like
a very common
trump card. It's just your trump card.
Yeah.
In that kind of board spot. So I guess we're going to game 3, Admirable.
Yeah, and with Casie staying on his primary deck in that second game, and Hunterace moving over to the secondary deck, I'm sorry, his tertiary deck. I love the swap because Wagglepick and Ziliax did not look at all important in that game.
Can I ask you a quick question? Do you think that because Casie saw Hunterace switch to his tertiary, remove the Wagglepicks, that Casie could switch to something like his tertiary?
Casie doesn't know that. He didn't see a sap and he didn't see an eviscerate.
That's fair.
He has no idea.
That's fair.
You have to see those cards first.
So you can't even make that read.
Right. So you know what they have in game number 1. Sometimes you can assume what they're doing in games 2 and 3 based on those side
Maybe that's
lists.
something that Hunterace was thinking about. He was just like, I'm just not going to play these cards. I'm not going to give the info to Casie that I switched to my tertiary.
Because if Casie knows these swaps, he's just free to play Ooze.
Yep.
For tempo at that point. And now at this point, Casie still does not know that Hunterace would be on that deck at this point.
That kind of mind game is actually so cool.
You have to get that information first.
Hunterace, good player.
Games 2 and 3, you are free to play whichever of the 3 decks you want. And you do not have to announce to your opponent which one that you're playing. And so Hunterace is sticking on tertiary, Casie is sticking on the primary. Again, as we're going to get into game number 3 here.
Let's go. Boing.
Slow it up now. Look at that. We're not doing the break, just the game. This is a technology breakthrough.
There's going to be a game of Hearthstone here on this screen soon.
It's loading up.
It's booting. We're in the 90s.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You just wait till I hit 10 mana.
What's going to happen at 10 mana?
Oh, we never found out.
Top deck of backstab.
You remember Millhouse in the tutorial?
Oh, you just couldn't. You just never got to 10 mana?
He says, you just wait till I hit 10 mana.
You don't wait. You just kill him. That's
Dies every
rude.
time.
Maybe he had like a present for you.
What does he do?
He was like, free legend. Instant rank 1 legend for you guys. So nice.
I want to know if anyone out there has a screenshot of what Millhouse Manastorm does when he hits 10 mana during the tutorial.
I don't think it's possible.
I think
it's like a scripted event.
Gallon, everything's possible. Possibilities.
They're endless.
Definitive statements, they're so full of finality.
Yeah.
Whereas possibilities,
I don't like endless possibilities. I like ones with like 4. That's kind of like hard. There's this, or this, or this.
Gallon's ideal restaurant. 4 items on the menu.
Mac and cheese. Cheese and mac.
It's appetizer.
Mac. And final cheese.
Your choices are just simply appetizer, main course, dessert, and drink. That's it. It doesn't tell you what they are. It's just those are your choices.
Maybe it's just like the same thing. It's just like a burger, and then for the drink, it's just like it's just another burger.
Look at this. The Shadow Step on the Pogo.
Oh,
Hold on to it.
Hunterace is dead.
Second Pogo, Lab Recruiter, Shadow Step. It's third Pogo.
We just made an Edwin on turn. We still have going.
It's Mechwin.
Oh my god.
Mechwin Van Cleef.
This is what I did to you.
This is what you did to me every game.
And you died every game. Hunterace gets Blink Fox. What's he gonna get? I saw combo and I saw 4 health and I thought it was Evil Miscreant. It's Crazed Chemist though.
Yeah. It's 4/4. that has a combo activation of a Cold Blood.
It's like an Evil Miscreant, except it costs 2 more mana. You only get Goblin Rush lackeys. You get 3 of them, but you don't get a 1/1.
That doesn't sound at all like an Evil Miscreant.
That's because it's not.
Okay. Hunterace is in trouble. He's in big trouble.
I think Casie, as soon as he draws a Pogo Hopper, this game is all but
Oh,
over.
Vendetta.
Vendetta doesn't do anything yet.
Kill a 5/4.
I think Hunterace wants to get a Hench Clan Burglar first.
So does Eviscerate.
Yep. Eviscerate is 2 mana instead of 4 mana.
That was
Vendetta can be 0 mana at some point. I think he's going to save it for that opportunity.
That was another talk that Gallon and I had was about Hench Clan Burglar Vendetta specifically. Does that buy you enough tempo?
I think it's interesting. I think you need to have the early game pressure, and then if you have that as the closing, that's how you win a game of Hearthstone, at least in this matchup.
Just plays a Snip Snap.
I think that's the problem sometimes in Hearthstone is that they're good cards in certain situations, but you need, like, not just the follow-up, but the things before that situation.
I want to talk about this last turn from Casie, where he saw the Eviscerate, so that he knows Hunterace is on the tertiary deck at that point.
An Acidic Swamp Ooze.
Doesn't coin the 3/2. I mean, Hunterace is clearly struggling to a 3/2.
Maybe Casey's just saying, oh, there's no way he ever switches to his tertiary that's built for Mage.
But he just saw it.
And look, I know he just saw it, but it might just not be something that's popping up in his mind. It probably is. Casie is a smart guy. I do find it weird that
He doesn't coin it here. I don't think he noticed.
I agree with you.
Ah, there we go. Wait, is that Dagger?
Nope.
Okay.
All right. You probably knew. Yeah, Casey's
Yep.
very smart. Sometimes he's thinking about stuff, and it can be hard to analyze it in the moment. You know, it takes him 5 seconds, where it normally takes someone 50, 70 seconds to analyze the turn.
So his thinking, I think, was specifically, if I coin the use now, I don't have a combo activator
Sure.
for next turn.
Yeah,
And
coin
now that
is
he's
pretty
drawn a combo activator, he's free to play it.
Yep.
Ah, that's exactly what he was thinking.
Yep. He gives it 3 damage for that possibility.
He's such a good rogue player.
Casie is the rogue expert. Casie is just someone that understands rogue at like a fundamental level.
Just likes the cool stuff.
You think Pogo Hopper is cool?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. We were playing games before this match. I was playing as the Pogo Hopper, and after it was over, Admiral was just frustrated as heck. He was saying, I hate Pogo Hopper.
Nope, you replaced Pogo Hopper with Sea Giant. And that's what I would say.
Oh, you love Pogo Hopper now.
Yeah.
God, he has a Sap Lab Recruiter. This is actually like... Oh, God. This is weird. Oh, it's not weird. He got Pogo Hopper.
And you, and you, and you.
It's a 1 mana 7/7.
4 mana 7/7. Check out Bunny's bouncing.
What the heck?
Oh, God, Hunterace is just dead here. He needs
He has to draw
Burglar,
Blink
exactly.
Fox. I'm sorry. Yeah, Hench Clan Burglar, not even Blink Fox.
Blink Fox does not do it. Blink Fox doesn't do it.
I'm sorry.
We got a Shadow Step for a Hench Clan Burglar here. Hunterace is shaking his head. He
That's
knows
not
that
good.
it's all but over.
You like my invention.
Leroy Jenkins does not do it. I think we are going to see Casie take this game 2-1.
Blink Fox backs. Blink
You
Fox.
can combo your Spirit of the Shark with Craze Chemist, and then backstab your 3/2.
Backstep to 3/2. Yeah, that's
That's his way. That's his way
Ah,
out of this game.
so
So
he
he's not dead yet, but he's dying. We're
Okay.
looking at Casie being able to Lab Recruiter a Snip Snap. I think that as soon as Casie draws Pogo Hopper or a Snip Snap,
Axe is gone from Hunterace's deck.
yeah, he's just gonna be at what?
I was thinking
2 life?
I was thinking like after you spotted the Crazed Chemist, because I was just thinking random stuff. The random
Honestly,
stuff you don't need it right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Hunterace spotted it for me. He was hovering over it for quite a while.
Okay.
Yep. He spotted it way before me.
So if he had Ziliax, I think he still had a chance. I mean, Casie could still draw dead. There are still dead cards in the deck. That's definitely not one of them.
Oh, God. Yeah, Case, this
I
game's just
want
over. He
you,
gets the
and
Snip
you,
Snap back. I
and you.
totally agree with that. I think Snip Snap is one of the best cards to shuffle in your deck. That's a card that's good at every spot of the game.
2 damage.
Lackey, we're 1 damage off lethal or 1 mana off lethal.
Push face, and you know that Hunterace doesn't have Ziliax.
You just dagger face, yeah, and the game is over.
Hunterace
Seeing the
can't kill you.
Eviscerate, there is no healing in Hunterace's deck. He's looking at specifically Blink Fox and his Spectral Cutlass as the only way to heal. That does not win the game. Henchland Burglar into... There's no greater healing potion. Healing waves out. Witch's Brew. Does that save him?
Be 8 extra health.
I don't think it does it.
Yeah, that that would have worked
you
at
get
the spot.
you get Vendettas. So you're looking at exactly Henchland Burglar into a healing spell. Shield block, maybe.
Yeah, any
That's
healing
that
spell
nature.
there actually worked really well off a Henchclan Burglar. So that was the only out.
It's looking like Casey's going to take this 2-1. You know, it's actually really funny because I called this over, and Hunterace still managed to find a way to at least set himself up to stay alive. That's how good he is. I pretty much tossed this game away.
So
Hunterace says,
many
you know what? I'm still in this game.
What else can you get?
Witchy Lackey,
6.
Kragla, doesn't do it. Blink Fox into...
No rogue taunts.
You need Blink Fox into...
Pilfer?
You need something to make the 4/6 into a walking fountain. So we're looking at like... Oh, that's...
There's some sort there's some sort of possibility here. I can't think of what it was, but there had to be one.
I get
Yep.
Either way, Casie with Pogo Hopper Rogue's first appearance here in European
He
Grandmasters.
absolutely dominated that last game. Did you see the first couple turns of this game? The game was over before it even began. Okay, that's not true, but it felt that way. If you were in Hunterace's spot, you'd be saying, oh.
His face was doing it the whole time.
Yeah.
Every single turn. He was felt like he was on the back foot. And frankly, I think that's just the nature of this matchup. I think that the Water Rogue is built to tackle more mid-rangey matchups. And I think that Pogo Rogue, while it doesn't do any of its plans super efficiently, it has a chance to do all 3 of the plans. You can play for early game, you can play for mid, or you can play for late. It all depends on how your opponent is affecting your position. And so that's where I think the Water Rogue struggles in this one, is it's kind of relying on taking advantage of what your opponent is going to do at some stage.
I just want to give a brief shout out to Hunterace. I think he piloted, even though we lost, I think he piloted the last game, the last couple turns beautifully. I think the spot with the Craze Chemist, it's not something that you see often, if ever. And just being able to recognize, hey, I can still stay alive here, I still have outs. I think that's the mark of a truly great player.
And we have Casie ready for an interview. Casie, can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
Hello, Casie. Congratulations on your win here today. Pogo Hopper Rogue, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Talk to me about how you landed on this deck. I mean, I anticipated maybe a couple players bringing this. Rogue showed up in major force. Why did you in particular bring this deck?
A, because I actually just enjoy the deck. And B, because I think it's the only Rogue deck that is able to beat Mage and Warrior at the same time.
Really? The only one?
Yeah, I think if you... Not like the Rogue that people play right now doesn't beat a well-teched Mage. The problem by like Psycho only won or lost because his deck was super greedy. Like he plays BGH in his primary deck, and yeah, that's what he also said after submission, that he said that he's going to face an aggro rogue. But yeah, that's basically it.
Casie, I have a question for you. Admirable and I were playing this matchup quite a bit, and I felt super favored playing as you. I went something like 11-2 versus
Not quite that much, but yeah, it was absurd.
Pretty much quite that much. And I heard some whispers and rumors saying that you thought Hunterace was favored in this matchup. Is that true?
No, I said that the raiding party rogue is even worse against this deck.
Okay, but you still feel pretty...
It's the harder, yeah.
Pretty favored.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like we played 120 games and Pogo Hopper was 61% in 120 games.
I don't know if I'm more impressed by the win rate or that the fact that you got in 120 games.
I skipped sleep.
Well, I guess it's also just how quickly you play. I mean, you pretty whip through these games pretty quickly. With the balance patch that came in, was there anything else that you were considering playing? Something else that you really wanted to try but just couldn't get in there this week?
Holy Wrath Paladin.
Holy Wrath.
Like those were the 2 decks between Paladin and this rogue. Bunny loves the deck, and yeah, both decks are really good. But I was scared of Bomb Warrior because Orange played so much Bomb Warrior the last few days.
So you didn't bring Holy Wrath Paladin, not because its power level was bad, you just thought it was going to be heavily targeted.
Yes.
Okay.
That seems to be the consensus. And so talk to me about the Masters Tour that's coming up. I imagine with the patch and balancing with Grandmasters, it's kind of crazy your practice schedule preparing for that event as well.
Like Bunny and I, we basically talk every day for like 6 to whatever hours, and then we play a lot of games. So we're gonna prepare even more for this. And we have like 3 decks in our mind that we want to play, but preparing for a bigger field is it's completely different than just preparing for like 2 opponents each week. So yeah, it's gonna be a big thing, like the first big tournament in this format. I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited about it too, Casie, and rightfully so. You're excited. This was a very important win for both of you. Came into this match at a 3-3 record, and you walk away with a 4-3 record. So you're moving up there to that top 3. Congratulations on your win, and look forward to seeing you play tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Pogo Rogue.
Pogo Rogue. You ever think about maybe they exist in the 1980s, like when what's it called? Pogo sticks were just like super popular. God, how did I not get that reference? It's literally called Pogo Rogue.
What do you mean? Pogo sticks are still super popular.
I've never seen one.
They're all the rage.
That's why I didn't know the terminology.
Pogo sticks are everywhere. Totally everyone's using them.
There's one right there.
Casie used a couple of them today. Multiple in a single game.
Couple?
So.
He used dozens. Millions. Probably not that much.
It was a lot. That's our second match in the books. Hunterace falls to Casie by a score of 2-1 in Casie's favor. And so we got to move on to our third match. Our match of the day is going to be coming up next. It's Pavel taking on Swids. Both players looking to turn their records around, so stay tuned. That's the big one that we have in store for you today.